tucked between the glass and steel high-rises of downtown, set back from the bustling traffic of 5th Street. A small clapboard cottage houses the remnants of another time.
A building circa 1880s, a Queen Anne style cottage with a lot of very interesting architectural details, such as the window frames that protrude out from these immensely skinny walls that had no insulation.
Curator Michael Hoinske is caretaker for not only the small house and its contents, but also the legacy of one of Austin's first professional writers who called it home.
This is the O.Henry Museum. It's the former residence of the short story writer William Sidney Porter, who went by the name O.Henry.
That popular short story writer rented the house for 2 years in the early 1890s with his wife and daughter.
He had day jobs to support his family. He worked at a pharmacy on 6th Street. He was a draftsman at the Texas General Land Office, where he drew county maps of the state, and he was also a teller at the First National Bank.
Though he wouldn't write his most well-known stories until moving to New York, the seeds of his writing career began in Texas.
He actually wrote some of the earliest known Western stories based on his experiences in working on a ranch in Cotulla, down by San Antonio. He invented the Cisco Kid, an iconic character that's taken on many different forms over the last century. This museum represents the beginning of O.Henry's trajectory as a short story writer.
That trajectory, however, took a life-altering direction when Porter was convicted of embezzlement and sentenced to 2 years in a federal prison.
And that's sort of where his story took a big turn. In prison, he hunkered down, started writing stories that he had success publishing once he got out and moved to New York City, newly O.Henry, not William Sidney Porter anymore, and was probably considered one of Austin's first professional writers.
A new chapter was opened in the O.Henry saga when former curator Valerie Benette acquired 5 lost manuscripts from a bookstore in Connecticut.
I like to say lost because that adds a lot of mystique to it.
Hoinske says he felt like they had just opened up a treasure chest.
I think it's so cool when you find these lost works by these really big name writers. The story that we ended up publishing, As Others See Us, is the first of that collection that I've been able to bring to light as a fine press limited edition book. Statement of Winthrop Guest. I desire it to be known that I loathe and abhor a drunkard. I have the utmost contempt for a man who by indulging to excess in strong drink degrades and debases himself. He didn't use the pen name O.Henry on this story. He used the pen name Del Oliver. The story itself is pretty dark. A lot of O.Henry's stories often show the lighter side of humanity, but this is, the way I like to describe this story is about an alcoholic's descent into madness. I am an artist in drinking, and I have seldom met another. No one has ever seen me stagger, has ever seen a speck upon the impeccable whiteness of my linen or my fashionable and well-fitting clothes. O.Henry died of cirrhosis, and we see a lot of parallels between the story and O.Henry's real life.
The published volume with illustrations by Pulitzer Prize-winning artist Ben Sargent is available for purchase from the museum, with all proceeds going to the O.Henry House and its programs.
The book is called a fine press book, and basically what that means is that the book itself is a piece of art, from the type that's used to the front and back covers, which contain the first and last pages of the handwritten manuscript, so you can actually see O.Henry's carefully crafted handwriting. So it's a complete package.
The publication of As Others See Us serves as an impressive and important contribution to this national literary landmark.
And it's pretty interesting that you have a house museum devoted to O.Henry. He's gone in and out of favor as a writer over the last century, maybe not as popular anymore, so we're hoping that this book getting out there will maybe see a resurgence in the popularity of O.Henry.
So what you're seeing today is a beloved game of ping pong or table tennis at the Asian American Resource Center. We have all ages coming out to the Asian American Resource Center to participate in our activities. During the weekday, primarily you're seeing older adults and our seniors.
Initially, yeah, they kind of give me lessons, show me how to play by beating me to a horrible place.
Our participants are in great shape. I've tried to play a game myself, and they are tough.
I fall in love, playing ping pong in here. A man like me, like a 65 years old man, would need to do sport, to keep myself active.
Oh, I see the same individuals probably 4 to 5 times a week.
But that inspired me to go back to practice. Not only just get the workout, but also like to pick up some of my games.
Nobody born to be a good player. The most important thing, you like it, your interest to it.
So we first started out with setting up one table to play ping pong. Became very popular very quickly. We now have 2 tables available when we have the room. And there can be a wait list or some time for you to get up and play because there's a line out the door wanting to play table tennis.
You like it, you come here, we teach you.
Competition is always there because you want to win, even you're getting old, right? And if you win a few games, you feel you're on top again.
Good.
Oh, beautiful!
Very good. Very good.
Beautiful!
Very good.
On a typical Friday night at the Hancock Recreation Center, you'll find this group kicking up their heels. The Austin International Folk Dance Group has a long history at Hancock, and if you're looking for the foundation of that history, look no further than Dina and Franklin Houston.
Actually, I got into dancing in the summer when I was 8 years old.
Well, I was in Houston, and I was a part of a church group, and our leaders knew some folk dancing, and so they taught a couple of dances, and I just loved them.
What started as a childhood activity became a bona fide passion and led each one to attend regular dancing sessions at Hancock Center.
And then I came to college, and there was this folk dance group here in Austin, and so I started going there and met Franklin, and the rest is history.
Though the Hancock Center initially brought the two together, it took a while for the pair to partner up.
Actually, back in the mid-'60s, things were just a little slower than they are now.
There wasn't a lot of communication because I saw him from afar, but it was, the fall of '65.
And we were at the same folk dance group on Saturday night here at Hancock. We talked a little bit, and we saw each other more often, and just kept seeing each other more often and often.
As full-time students at UT, it only seemed to make sense to mix business with pleasure.
Both of us had to pay our way through college, and because we were here dancing, we knew about the facility. And so I asked the director, what can I do? I need money. And so I taught a women's exercise class, I taught a women's craft class, I taught children's folk dancing.
The director of Hancock Recreation Center at the time, this is 1967, and she asked me if I were willing to be an attendant at certain events, and I did that for about a year, and I did a good job, and she asked me if I would be the attendant 5 nights a week. Well, I was going to school, but somehow managed to make it work.
When the couple married in 1969, there seemed to be little question as to where they would celebrate tying the knot.
We were married in the afternoon, and then we had a reception, at a friend's house, a folk dance family. And then we came to folk dancing, and at that event there was a tradition of the couple doing their own dance, and we did this dance from Romania that was very special to us called Ardoiana. And then the women formed a giant circle around me and it was a Hungarian women's dance. And I look at that picture, we're all barefooted because we were, we weren't all hippies by any means, but we were young, and I was 21, and that's what we did. We danced barefooted, so it was very casual.
Raising 2 children, folk dancing, and the Hancock Center became a true family affair.
We'd take them to the parties. When we'd go to our annual dance camp out of town, we'd always take them, and they'd dance and play with each other or with other friends, and so they kind of grew up in that environment.
Our children were both born on Mondays, and the next Saturday we were here with our babies, so we don't miss dancing any more than we have to.
Their passion for dancing has not only given them an appreciation of different cultures, but over the years allowed them to experience the people and traditions of these countries firsthand.
And there's a community of folk dancers all over this world. We've been to Hungary in folk dance. We've been to Serbia in folk dance. So it's just been a part of our lives, and that's why the Austin International Folk Dancers is so important to us. It's kind of the basis for our folk dance activity and community.
International folk dancing has opened the world to this couple, but all roads always lead back to Austin and the Hancock Center.